Now you're welcome back to the show. So we're going to turn to hurling. Very happy to say that Mike Casey, Limerick defender, Na Piarsaigh defender, All-Ireland winner, is with us on the line. Mike, great to have you on the show. You're very welcome.
Thanks a million, lads. Thanks for having me.
No, it's great to have you. So we were just reaching out to some of your teammates, get some thoughts, get some background info. The most interesting thing we heard was from Shane Dowling.
Oh God, he's a lot of interesting thoughts and on and on fair.
I know. I was thinking, how worried will Mike be when we mention Shane Dowling's been on to us on the QT? I don't know.
Yeah, Joanna, I'm not surprised with him knowing all fairness. Not surprised at all.
It's not too bad. It's not too bad. It's very PG. Don't worry. He said Mike Casey was voted the worst golfer in all of the Na Piarsaigh club. He's called King of the Shanks.
But I tell you one thing. I golfed with him there Sunday. He shot, what did he shoot? He shot 107 out in Shannon. And that's not his worst score now by a long shot. He's gone up to the 120s now, I won't lie.
Well, he says you're King of the Shanks. You're the worst of the club. There you go. That was all. That was all. We said, is there anything nice you want to say about Mike? He was like, this is the most important piece of information. So congratulations. How have you enjoyed the last week, 10 days?
Yeah, it's been unbelievable. Like we've definitely celebrated it. You know, we weren't able to celebrate kind of the last two, especially with the people of Limerick. So we've definitely celebrated it, and it's been unbelievable looking at the homecomings. You know, it's kind of quite similar to 18. You know, where there's just thousands and thousands of people looking for your photo, your autograph, just wanting to see you. You know, so that's been a lovely touch this time around. You know. And
you're a teacher, so you're off on holidays at the moment.
Yeah, off on holidays now. The father's a farmer here and a carpenter, so he's keeping me busy when he can get me. So doing a small bit of concrete there today and things like that. So he's keeping me busy.
Right. Okay. Because I was going to ask you, do you just feed up during the summer and walking around Limerick with your All-Ireland medal, just taking in the applause? But your dad has you working.
Yeah. I know, to be fair, he's gotten a bit better. In all fairness, he kind of knows to leave me alone kind of a week before a big game. So so he knows we have our own routines and things like that. So there's plenty of downtime, which is nice during the summer, you know.
I'm told your parents are die-hard fans.
Yeah, they are. They've been die-hard fans for a long time. In all fairness, they don't miss a match with the club. They've never missed a game, really, to be honest with you. If there was a junior match on in the club below, they'd be the first two down at it, in all fairness. And so it didn't really come from any sporting pedigree. Like they just kind of fell in love with it the same way as myself and Peter fell in love with it, like, you know, and they just love watching us play, and they kind of just love being around the social aspect of the club and seeing all the games, you know.
And so, because your brother Pete, obviously All-Ireland winner as well and Limerick player as well, was it really through you and Peter that they got into it, or were they massive hurling fans before you two arrived?
No, definitely through me and Peter. As I said, like they have no sporting background, really, to be honest with you. And once me and Peter started playing it and going up through the systems in Limerick, you know, they really fell in love with it. I suppose Helen had no choice really but to get involved, bringing us out to Rackhill there twice a week when we were 13, 14, 15, you know. But no, she loved it, and the father too, you know. So definitely 2020, you know, was actually a difficult time for them in terms of, like, they couldn't go to games or anything like that, and they really missed that aspect of it. Yeah. But since the games have been back, like, they've gone to everything, you know, fair stuff.
What an amazingly unexpected journey for them to go on through their kids.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like they would have never have seen this happening, really, to be honest with you. And geez, they really are so proud of us. Like, and as I said, like they don't miss. They'd go watch us train if they could, to be honest with you. If Paul Connork would allow them watch our train session, or they'd be out there, you know.
And would they be at a point now where they'd have strong opinions of their own on how the game should be played, and like they're quasi-experts at this stage?
They have their opinions, definitely, but they know not to mention them to me and Peter, to be honest with you. Okay. They'll save that for blow at the bar in the club there. You know, they definitely won't mention it to me and Peter. They're very good at that at the moment. It's kind of the worst trait we kind of have, really, is after a match, if you've done poorly, if they talk to you, your back is up the wall straight away. Like, so they kind of know to know now, good or bad. So no, they've definitely gotten a lot better at that in all fairness over the years.
Am I right in saying that Sunday just gone was the first All-Ireland final that both you and Pete were on the pitch for the full-time whistle for?
Yeah, it was. That was only mentioned to us afterwards, which was lovely, to be fair. I'd obviously come off in 18 while Peter was on, and I suppose I was away for 2020 and 2021 with the knee. So yeah, that was the first time both of us finished the game together in an Ireland final, which was a nice moment, you know.
Are you close?
Yeah, we would be close, in all fairness. Like, the way our lives run are quite similar, you know. We have the same sort of interests, you know, in terms of our sporting interests, our golf and all that sort of thing. Like, so yeah, we would be close, in all fairness.
Do you find that you've a deeper understanding on the pitch with your brother than other players, or would that be reading too much into things?
I think that's reading too much into it, to be honest with you. Like, we play a completely opposite ends of the field. You know, it's very rare that I give him the ball, if that makes sense, you know, or it's definitely very rare for him to give me the ball. I don't think that has ever happened. But yeah, no, we just enjoy playing together. We haven't had the opportunity in a long time. So it was a nice moment in the Galway game to kind of hear the crowd roar when himself and Keane went warming up. You know, it was a nice moment there to see him come on. And
at club level, would you be further at the pitch? Would you interact more club level?
Not really. Like, I've been tried once or twice out around the middle or at centre back for the club, and it hasn't gone all that well, to be honest with you. So I think even this year, I think full back line will be my spot again this year. So no, he kind of comes a bit further out. He might come out to 11 every now and again. But no, it seems to be full back, full forward for the two of us now for a while, you know.
Define it hasn't gone that well when you've come out the field. I find that hard to believe.
Oh, jeez. I played a game. I played a game against Bruff, I'd say, in 2018. I'd say I played against Bruff midfield, a championship game. I was absolutely woeful, just shocking stuff. Just lost. I didn't know where to go, really, to be honest with you. Played a couple of times. Played a few times and a lot underage at centre back, so I'd be a small bit more comfortable there. But geez, it's a tough position whether you're coming or going, you know. So especially with the Pierce, we've got like Ron Lynch there who's excellent in that position. So I think putting me at full back isn't a bad move. I think it's more.
Fair enough. So the Bruff midfielders were like, that's not my case. He plays for Limerick, surely.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
To appreciate what Sunday would have meant to you and to your family, I suppose we have to chart the last couple of years, which were incredibly difficult. So correct me if I'm wrong here. Things are going incredibly well for you and for Limerick, and then mid-pandemic or towards the end of the year 2020, you do your cruciate in a challenge game against Galway. And obviously in 2020, an injury in October rules you out effectively of that COVID championship. So you missed that All-Ireland. And then there's a cartilage problem the following summer, and you miss all of 2021 as well. And so in effect, you're, 18 months out of the game watching your teammates win 2 All-Irelands? That's miserable in anyone's book.
Yeah, no, that hit the nail on the head, really, to be honest with you. Yeah, it was first game back against Galway, played a challenge match, coming back with COVID. Did the dreaded ACL, did my time, did my rehab there, came back, played a half for the club in July of 21, and I'd kind of half tried to get myself. I'd done a good bit with Limerick in terms of like applied skills and things like that, you know, just missing the full game. But that Tuesday night, I was coming in to play the first time in a full session, which was mid-season, and again a big pop in the knee. And to be honest, it was a horrific 24 hours. Like I was fully sure I had done the ACL again, and got scanned that the next morning, and by 5 o'clock I'd gotten good news, but news that I would say just cartilage came away. You know, I had kind of was a completely different injury, and then had tried to stitch that up and everything, and unfortunately then actually on our team holiday in 21 did cartilage again in a swimming pool where the operation didn't go well, so just had to get that removed then when I came back, you know.
So to miss 1 is very difficult. To miss 2 in the bounce, it must be horrific.
Yeah, it was difficult. Yeah, it was definitely difficult. Some really dark times, to be honest with you, over those 2 years. But I think
what's a dark time, Mike? So what's a bad day like, or is there a lowest point?
Jeez, yeah, to be honest, my lowest point came, I suppose, we were in Barbados really on the team holiday, and the knee blew up again, and I was sitting in my hotel room in this unbelievable resort, kind of on my notes on my phone, kind of trying to write out a bit of a statement nearly, you know, that I thought like that was the knee gone. It was game over for me, like, you know, that this was all going to finish up in the next couple of weeks, you know, when I got home, right, to get the call to say, look, that knee just won't be right ever again, you know. So like they're pretty dark times, but I actually think the fact that the lads were doing so well, I think actually made it a small bit easier, because you knew that you were missing something really, really important in your life, you know, that you were missing kind of what defines you from kind of the age of 18 to 32 or 3, whenever you decide to retire, you know. And to see the boys do so well really helped kind of motivate you in your rehab to get back to the levels that you want to get back at. And if you can contribute to the group at all, whenever you get back, it was kind of always my end goal, you know.
For some, watching the boys do well would make it tougher again.
Yeah, like for some probably. For me, I think it actually helped me, like, because like coming into training and I was asked to kind of go in and help out with stats and things like that, like that, not to step away from the group or anything like that. And like, you really do feed off the boys' energy, you know. Their energy is incredible at training, and it still gave me a purpose, you know. Like, I could go away during the summers and I could do my gym sessions and my rehab sessions, my running sessions, things like that throughout the day, with the physios, and then still go to training that night and try and contribute there, and still have the conversations that you would normally have with the likes of Sean Finn, Dan Marcy, Richie English, and with Barry, we'd say, coming back, you know, he was constantly picking my brains to see like how he could improve, and trying to contribute as much as I could, even though I wasn't able to be on the field, you know.
Okay, so you still felt part of it. You were still in touch with the lads. It wasn't I'll talk to you when I talk to you and I'll see you in 6 months, lads, kind of a thing.
No, absolutely not. And I think it's the epitome of us. Like, you know, we had Brian O'Grady there this year who did the ACL, and he didn't leave the group, you know, and he still felt part of it. And he's still inside the gym with us doing all his rehab, and we're still having the laugh and the joke with him. And it was the same with Peter and Barry just gone by, you know. Even if you can't be on the field, you can still contribute. And I suppose the boys are excellent at recognising that in terms of like keeping guys around who are good guys, you know.
So once upon a time, cruciate was almost career ending, and it has always been very serious, and I presume remains very serious. In 2022, is your knee as good as ever, or is it ever quite the same again after a cruciate?
Yeah, like after a cruciate, I suppose it can get back to where it was, and I actually think with that regard, it definitely is where it was. With terms of having very little cartilage in my knee, there are still some aspects of kind of lateral stuff and warm-ups and things that I would stay away from. You know, kind of, you know, I can get a small bit angry there at times, you know. But I think, like, for anyone doing the cruciate, like, you know, it's a long slog. Like, it's 9 months and it's tough work, but you can definitely return from it if your mindset is right, you know. And you, like, even if you just look at like the Sean Finn, you know, like he did his cruciate in, I'd say it was 16, and like that hasn't held him back in all, you know. So it's, yeah, you can definitely return from it and get back to where you were, and even, to be honest, even better, because you've got 9 months in the gym where you can work on other aspects of your body, you know, and you can really zone in on aspects that you want to that you might actually get the time to do during a hectic season, you know.
Well, you look, I mean, big in the upper body. I can't quite remember pre-injury were you as big, but you certainly do look like you've done a lot of S&C. And to be fair, that whole Limerick team look fairly big, to be honest, as big as any team I've seen in GAA down the years. Yeah,
like, we love the gym, like, you know, we're as competitive in the gym as we are on the field, to be honest with you. You know, like, any S&C coming into us, like, you know, we're nearly a dream. Like, you come in and you just set out what needs to be set out, what program needs to be put out, and like, lads are just trying to outdo people. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a case of who can bench more, who can squat more, who can deadlift more, and if you're not pulling your weight, you're going to be left behind, you know. And I think that is very visible in the physicality that we bring, and the size of the boys that are out in the field, you know.
So In terms of enjoying it more or appreciating it more, has the time away informed how you feel when you run out of a tunnel now for Limerick, or do you quickly just snap back into where you were pre-injury?
No, it definitely appreciate it. Like, you know, like the perspective on everything has completely changed. You know, like the emotion I felt even after that final whistle was so different even to 18. It was nearly a sense of relief in 18. Whereas this time around, like I just took a minute to actually take everything in and just appreciate the road that I had been on. And I think we're actually getting better at that as a team as well. Like we stayed out in the field for an hour afterwards, like just sitting down, chatting, laughing, just being together really. And I actually think we love that. Like we're a group that just love being together, whether it's lads going for a cup of coffee or going out to Rackeel of a Thursday night, you know, in December. Like, you know, we just love being together, which is a nice trait to have as a group, you know.
Do you get to see your parents when you're on the field at all?
Yeah, we do. In all fairness, like they can make themselves visible there. They come down to the rail and fairly lively, and they're full of their hose and chat afterwards. Like, so they're always lovely moments and moments that you'll treasure forever, you know. So yeah, definitely all the families can get down and shores are there and they're excellent. They can take photographs and things like that after the final whistle. So they're lovely moments that you look back on when your career's finished that you'll cherish, you know.
Yeah, I can imagine. And even I'd say like half the country, if I hear the Cranberries' Dreams now, I think ye lads. Do you know, it's like Pavlov's dog.
Yeah, and to be honest, I only watched back the match for the first time, I'd say 2 days ago, and like it kind of seemed a bit subdued afterwards, and then all of a sudden Dreams come on and we just go mad. Like, you know, it has some sort of an emotional connection to us. Like, and even going around, Linger was playing, and if you actually just look back at it, we're all just actually singing. You know, we're just going around with the cup, looking into the stand, applauding the fans, and we're actually just singing the Lord's, like, which is lovely to have, you know.
What were you focused on in advance of Kilkenny?
Ourselves, to be honest with you.
Right.
Like, and I know that's a cliche, and I know it's probably boring and everything, but ourselves really. You know, we pride ourselves on our performance and how we can get the performance out of each other, and that was what we focused on. Like, you know, there was, looking back on it, there was obviously an awful lot of talk about 2019 and things like that, but you know, we block all of that out. Like, you know, we're a completely different side to 18 and 19 even. Like, you know, we're a lot more mature and we can handle these situations an awful lot better, and that's to do with John, Paul, Caroline, John. They've was well versed in all of that. Like, so coming into the All-Ireland final, like it's just another game, and you have to only look at it as another game, and looking at your targets and how you want to perform. And if we do that, then we will win the game, and you have to try and take the opposition out of it. And yeah, there's definitely things that you're going to work on, you know, traits that they have that you're going to work on that small bit extra coming up to the match. But
yeah,
other than that, like we're just focusing in on ourselves, you know.
Interesting, because I would think, for instance, if you're part of the defensive unit, you probably do think more about the opposition perhaps than if you're a forward where you can't just focus more on yourself. Like, for instance, you would have known in advance of the game there'll be a fair proportion, maybe a higher proportion than usual, of balls pumped long, because, you know, Kilkenny did that and had great joy against Clare. They're probably going to see what we're made of back there. So I presume that crosses your mind. Now, I don't know what you can do to prepare for that as such.
Yeah, no, it definitely crosses our mind. Like, John, like we have great conversations, and a lot of what we do well is pulling backs together and the full back line, half back line, and having a talk and seeing what is the best way of going about it. And like for us, it was bringing that ball to the ground, you know, as much as we could, and flooding those breaks. And it was something that we may have actually struggled with at the start of the year, but kind of worked on it bit by bit. And it was an area that we actually dominated, and we knew that if we could bring that ball to the ground, get the half back line in, you know, that was going to be our launch pad, and that was going to win us the game. So yeah, we definitely focused in on that, and Paul would have done a bit extra work on the high ball in that 2 weeks, so that we could get ready for that. So yeah, there's areas that you are going to look at the opposition, like, you know, you'd be foolish not to. So like, yeah, that was definitely looked at and assessed, and to see where we could get most joy out of it, you know.
You mentioned the calmness and the composure and the increased experience. Limerick got off to such a good start in that final and had Kilkenny at arm's length for much of it, and then suddenly, in a very Kilkenny way, they're back suddenly level. Your thoughts at that point? Any part of you thinking, oh my God, here we go again, the ambush?
Yeah, yes and no. Like, there was, like, I was talking to the lads afterwards. Like, there was at no stage there where, I don't know whether it's because we've been there and we've done it, or anything. Like, it's just the fact that, like, we all thought that we still were in control. That we just needed to tidy up one or two things, and gave away a sloppy goal in the second half. The second one, especially, where there was, I think it was TJ was just completely unmarked inside there, and that shouldn't have happened. But like, the next puck out just goes out, and, like, I think the road wins it, or someone wins it, and it's just okay. We're back up. We're back one up again, and we just have so much trust in the team and so much trust in every individual, and I think that's shown even in the trust that we have in the whole squad, and the guys that are going to come on. And we know that they're going to do us a job. And if it's Dave Reedy one day, it could be Conor Boylan the next. It could be Keane against Galway Peter. Like, we know they're going to come on and do the business for us, and see us over the line. And they bailed us out of a lot of situations in the past, and they're going to continue to do it. It's just the trust that the boys place in them.
What's the biggest impact on your game that Paul Kinnerk's had?
I think just he brings everything to it, to be honest with you. Like, I couldn't really pinpoint anything. Like, I think even the courage of actually wanting the ball. A lot of the time, as a full back, you'd be saying, let him have the ball, and they'll be fine. He'll pump it long or do something. But he places so much emphasis on being able to work the ball through the lines, being able to have control of the ball. And you can kind of see that even, like, all of our games in the full back line, we're all extremely comfortable on the ball, and we're all mad to get it and go forward. Like, there's a bit of a running joke that, like, me and Sean Finn are the only fellas not to score still. And that's a thing where I had one or two chances this year and I raged and I didn't take them. And Sean if Sean gets one before me, I'll be absolutely livid. Like, they encourage that. Like, they encourage the go forward ball and be brave, and just the attacking mindset of going forward. And that's definitely an aspect that we have our team that is kind of to the forefront of our team.
Okay, interesting. So clearly Kinnerk didn't see you play at midfield against Bruff that time.
That's a definite. Yeah, that is an absolute definite. Yeah, 100%.
Do you sit down with Caroline Curd in a one-on-one capacity, or is it always very much group work?
No, it can be both. It can be one-on-one. It can be a phone call, group work. She kind of does it all. Like, there's no one end of the ear to the other without kind of speaking to her. Whether if it's just touching in on the sideline of training, seeing how you are, how's your school life, how's your work life, all this sort of a thing. She's just excellent in what she does in terms of being able to just be that mammy-like figure nearly to all of us. And if you have any sort of an issue, a problem, anything like that, like, she's excellent, and she's. You can go straight onto the phone and contact her.
So if you're having your teacher, if you're having a difficult time at school for whatever reason, or in your personal life, she is somebody that you can sit down with and tease it out, almost like a session.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, hit the nail on the head. Yeah, like, if you're having problems with, say, in school, or anything like that, yeah, 100%. You ring her up, and and she'll give you her honest opinion. She'll say, like, you need to get out of there, or you need to do this, or you need to do that, or anything like that. Like, and she's excellent at it, and there's no. It's black and white. She's just unbelievable. She's not going to tell you what you want to hear. She'll tell you what you need to hear, sort of a thing. And she does it in such a professional way, and that if you ring her, no one else in the world is going to know.
I was just going to ask, is she then relaying anything to Kylie?
No, absolutely not. Like, if you ring her, it's a case of, like, that like, no one else in the world is going to know that took place. You know what I mean? And unless you ask her to let someone know, or something like that, like, but no, it's an unbelievable. She's unbelievable what she does, and everyone has that confidence in her.
That is such a great outlet to have, and a great thing to have, because when it's impossible for John Kiley or any manager to come up with the playing side of the approach and tactics and the training and the S&C, and also just to manage 40 lads with an array of concerns or problems or issues. So to put someone like her in place is just a very shrewd move.
Yeah, no, it's vital, like, and it's you know, like the mental side of it and the mental health side of everything, like, you know, everyone has those problems. Like, you know, there's no squad of players, inter-county players where people don't have those problems. So it's been able to deal with those. And once you have happy players, you know, they're going to play well and they're going to want to play well for you. You know, if you have a lot of upset players and with loads of things going on, like, you know, at the end of the day, it's an amateur sport and everyone has careers and everyone's going to want to progress. And having that person there to help with all those situations is obviously vital to what we do and vital to any kind of major sporting organisation, like, you know.
We had Eddie Brennan and Michael Fennelly on the show the other evening. They were just talking about Cody, and they were, you know, saying you could at certain times, especially if you weren't in the team, you could go months without hearing from Cody, and that was just his way, and it was that kind of distant approach to management, and they were saying nothing wrong with it, nothing right with it, but that was Cody's way. What's Kylie's way? Would you talk to John Kiely often, or would it be a bit more distant, or what are your interactions like with him?
Yeah, he would definitely be a bit more distant. If you're having a conversation with him, it mightn't be for the right reasons. You know, I'd say kind of like Brian Cody, to be honest with you. But when he does speak to you, and, you know, you listen, like, you know, and it's a case of, like, he will pull you out on stuff, or, you know, he will put the arm around you. You know, it's but it's definitely a case of, like, get down to business yourself, and if you need to be kind of put back in place, he'll do that. You know, but, you know, distant wouldn't be the word I'd use, but he definitely. He won't be speaking to you every week. Do you know, that sort of way. He's not going to be ringing 80-90% of the players every week. Do you know, he probably has one or two players that he'll speak to, but after that he's not going to be ringing everybody. No, definitely not.
I guess it's not possible for any one person to do that, and he talks to you as a group plenty, I'm sure. Exactly,
like, and also, like, you to, when you're in a situation like that, like, you have to take the person out of it. You know, if you have a hard call to make, it's quite difficult if you're really personal with a couple of members on the team, like, and things like that. So to have that small bit of distance is always good, you know, and to be able to make that call when you need to, you know, and that kind of helps with that.
Mike, how do you feel about the new schedule, the new calendar, that you're done now for the year and you're into club?
Yeah, like, look, it's definitely been a big debate. Like, we went back with a club challenge match there on Saturday. Played 20 minutes of that. Now, it wasn't my finals hurling, but played 20 minutes there. And but look, it's the club players. You know, they now have their time in the summer too, where it's not just slogging in October, November, December. Like, you know, and it's excellent. Like, I love going back to the club. Like, I've had, you know, one of my best days with the club, and winning a club All Ireland, like, you know, and, like, best friends are there and everything like that, like, you know. So going back there is never it's never a downer for me. Like, you know, we love going back and we love competing and looking for more county titles, you know.
It seems like there's still lots of hunger and desire and ambition in this Limerick side, and because you don't seem like a team who are digging it out and it's a real struggle and it's a grind. You seem like a team who enjoy that thrill of competition and enjoy the winning, but you know, it's not like tanks are being emptied and you're dwindling resources. It just feels like it's can't wait to go again and see what happens kind of a vibe.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, and the thing is, like, we're still a youngish side, like, you know,
what are you, 20? You're 26?
26, yes, 26. Yeah, I'm 26, and, you know, like, there's loads there, 25, 24, a couple of 27s and 8s, like, you know, and like, Nicky and Graham are two older fellas, like, but, you know, there's no one in the dressing room saying, like, you know, geez, I'll hang out the boots, or the Jonas sort of thing. Like, we are just so mad to go back and compete again and again and again, you know, and that's just our competitive side coming out in us, like, you know. We're still so mad to hurl, and, like, we are genuinely, like, it's a cliche, but we are the best of friends in there, you know, and we'll nearly miss the next couple of months where you're going away at your club, and you won't get back training till December or January, whenever the lads bring us back, like, so we'll nearly miss that, like, because the fact we've had over the years, the memories we've made are all with that group, like, you know, and that group that won in 18, there's still a large portion of us there that have really become good friends, you know.
You're a teacher. I always wonder when it's an inter-county player who's a teacher, did you do it for the love of teaching or for the love of the summers?
I did it. I'd say just for the CEO points, to be honest with you, is what I know. Look, it was something I always kind of wanted to be a teacher, and yeah, the summers off were nice. And gee, this year with the thing brought forward, like, and so we played. I think it was a 2 or 3 rounds, or it was actually up until the Munster final. The Munster final, we broke for our summer holidays the Friday before the Munster final, and like, I have huge sympathy for the lads who have to go into work on the Monday morning. You know, like, we had to go in after some really tough affairs and go back into school of the Monday morning, which was for the first time ever, you know. Yeah. And that was actually tough. So the lads working 9 to 5s, having to go in on that Monday, you know, it is really difficult. So it definitely does help throughout the year as the championship went on this year. Instead of going into school, you know, after the final, you were able to get up, and the bodies were really, really sore, and a couple of us actually went to the Strand before going out for a few drinks or anything like that. Like, you know, we went and got our ice baths and stuff like that. So that definitely does help being off for the summer, you know.
So on those Mondays, Mr. Casey came in and said, "Kids, we're watching a video today."
Maybe, yeah, once or twice.
You can start your homework now.
Yeah, absolutely. I was doing a bit of stretching in the corner, maybe. Yeah.
There was one text in, by the way, just to put it to you. Did you win a Harty Cup, say, in your school days with Keane Lynch? You guys would go back that far, would you?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
We were in the same year in school, so yeah, we beat Doon CBS in the Gaelic rounds, I would say, in 14 together, yeah.
Right. Was it obvious that the boy could do his thing on a hurling pitch even then?
He's been incredible since he was 10 years of age. You know, since we first got on to, I remember playing Mackie Cup with him, under 12 hurling, in the city, and like, he was as good then as he is now. Some of the tricks and flicks and things that he could do. I remember he did a freestyle competition. Went out there. I'd say we were 4th or 5th year in school.
Right.
And he just went out the back messing around and put a video up, and the thing went mad. So he's been able to do it for years. Like, you know, he's absolutely incredible, like, what he can do on the hurling field, you know.
Yeah, he has that look, all right. Because actually I was reading that even in the training match in advance of the final, where he injured his leg, and it's such a pity for him, that even in that game apparently he was lighting it up.
Yeah, he definitely, yeah, there was puck outs that were coming down on top, you know, they were just, his hand is like a magnet, like, you know, wherever it went, it managed to fall into his hand, you know. So he was definitely putting his hand up for a starting spot, definitely.
Well, listen, we'll let you go. Thank you so much for the time. Big congratulations again, because I'm sure it was a tough couple of years looking on and waiting to get back. So very sweet, I'm sure, this year. So Mike Casey, great to talk to you, and thanks so much.
Thanks, man, Les. Thank you.